good news. Evo Enduro, it's happening, subject to the end of MCO and the reopening of international borders. But it's going to happen, and we want to give you guys something to look forward to beyond the COVID-19 crisis. Think of this as us lighting up, being that source of light at the end of the tunnel. Something for you guys to look forward to. Okay, so if you guys are free this Saturday evening, 8 p.m. I know it's Idul Fitri Eve, but if you guys have the time to spare, do join us in our Facebook Live session where we will be chit-chatting with Tourism Thailand, with some Evo Enduro veterans to share with you guys our past experiences going to Evo Enduro and what's in store for the next one. So you guys don't want to miss that. Yeah, come join us on our Facebook feed. Details is in the description section, or you can find out more on Aurizn Malaysia Facebook. Okay, so I'll see you guys this Saturday evening. Hi guys, so it's been a week since I last did a question and answers video. So I'm going to take this time to catch up with you guys. It's been a busy week. As mentioned earlier, we'll be doing a Facebook live feed this Saturday evening. So if you guys don't have Raya Eve plans, do come and join us on Facebook. Details will be in the description section, or you can go and check out our Facebook, okay, Aurizn Facebook. Yeah, so the other exciting thing, of course, is if you have watched my last video, Volvo Car and Aurizn Eco Design Challenge, we are rewarding the winning interior design firms a Volvo XC40 T8 for a period of 6 months, and each of the 6 design firms will be granted contracts. If they win, that design that they come up with becomes reality, and of course they will be paid to do so. 4 million ringgit worth of contracts to be distributed among 6 winning design firms. Definitely something you guys don't want to miss. Just to run through my inbox, some interesting news releases over the last 1 week. This just came in today from BMW. So they are partnering with they are what you call it? They are partnering with a few organizations a few companies, and they got a few partners on board. Basically, they're continuing their child seat program, whereby they are subsidizing parents from B40 income group families to purchase child safety seats at a far more affordable price. So I think that's a very good initiative from BMW Group Malaysia. It further drives home the message of the importance of using child safety seats. I hope most of you who watch our videos, I hope most of you take the effort and initiative to buckle up your kids. And if you don't, please start doing so right now. Okay, it's no joke. Sometimes it doesn't need to be an accident. Sometimes it could be just an emergency, right? You're driving on the road, suddenly somebody run across the road, cat run across the road, dog run across the road. You have to slam your brakes, heartbreaking. That, and even if, let's say, in that situation where no car hit you, or you don't hit any car or object, right? No collision involved, right? Any occupant that is not fastened by a seat belt or a child seat will still get thrown forward, will still get hit with injury. Strap up the kids, guys. Just strap them up, okay? Don't make any excuse for it. Okay, so there are a couple of upcoming launches. There's the Range Rover Evoque, the 2nd gen Range Rover Evoque, and also the Ford Ranger FX40 is a new variant of the Ford Ranger. So that these two models will be launched next year. They just announced it. Didn't get any further specifics, so stay tuned for further announcements on this. And Naza Kia, they have also announced an update to the Kia Grand Carnival. Yeah, one of the a great value for money MPV. So previously the Kia Grand Carnival was available in Malaysia exclusively as an 8-seater. Now they've upped it. They've added a further. Increased the seating capacity to 11. Now, of course, you can choose to still use it as an 8-seater if you want, but the option to carry 11 passengers is now available to you. And this updated version is priced at 180,000 ringgit. Yeah, and it's powered by Kia's excellent 2.2 liter turbo diesel engine with 200 horsepower, 440 newton meters of torque. The outputs of this engine, the rated outputs of this engine is actually higher than even Mazda's 2.2 Skyactiv D. So it's a very high output engine, and exactly what you need for a big people carrier. You always want the strong low-end torque of a diesel engine so that you can pull the bulk of the car without having to overexert the engine. Okay, so it makes for a far more pleasant driving experience than a petrol engine. For a petrol engine to be able to manage the same kind of pull as a diesel engine, you need to go 3.5, 4 liters, and in our market that translates to a lot of road tax, and I'm not sure most of you guys have the appetite for it. Okay, so let's look at some questions.
Ladies and gentlemen.
So this time I think I'll start with old questions. Hafiz Hazrin, commenting on my Mitsubishi Outlander review, adakah kereta ini berbaloi untuk dibeli berbanding Toyota Innova? Saya ada cadangan nak beli, mohon cadangan. Okay bro, Outlander dengan Innova ini sebenarnya adalah dua kenderaan yang sangat berbeza. Outlander adalah model SUV berlandaskan chassis monocoque. So jadi ianya lebih selesa, pemanduannya lebih selesa, lebih senyap. Okay, tapi Innova ia menggunakan chassis macam pickup truck. So jadi di atas jalan kasar ianya memang lebih apa nama orang putih cakap, lebih rugged lah. So jadi jika anda selalu menggunakan kenderaan anda di atas jalan raya yang kasar, Innova mungkin lebih sesuai. Okay, cumanya Innova tu kereta sangat berat, kenderaan tu sangat berat dan menggunakan pacuan roda belakang, tapi enjinnya cuma 2 liter petrol, sama kapasiti dengan Outlander. So jadi bagi saya Innova tu masa membawa rasa berat sikit, rasa underpowered. So ini memang terpulang pada anda. Okay, tapi harga Innova juga lebih murah. So jadi jika budget anda ketat, belilah Innova kan. Okay, dan jika anda selalu menggunakan kenderaan di atas jalan raya yang kasar, mungkin Innova lebih sesuai. Tapi jika anda hendakan pemanduan yang lebih selesa, lebih macam kereta sedan, dan Outlander tu mungkin lebih sedap dipandu lah. Okay, so moving on. Witness Ravin, between Suprima S, Inspira 1.8 and Inspira 2.0, which is a better option? Need a suggestion. Also, is the first batch Inspira from Japan tuned by Proton? Thank you. I think you asked this in Aurizn Facebook, right? But never mind, I'll answer you again for the benefit of anyone else who is listening. So between these three cars, my first choice would be the Inspira 1.8 manual. Yeah, but between the Suprima S and the Inspira 2.0, really it's a bit more 50-50. But I'm still a bit more leaning towards the Inspira because the CVT is a bit better tuned compared to the Suprima S. The first batch of all batches of the Inspira, their ride is tuned by Proton. Their handling is tuned by Proton. So their dynamic behavior at the limits is quite different compared to the Lancer. And this is something I plan to address in a separate video. But suffice to say, right, my experience with the Inspira is that both in terms of ride and handling, it is an improvement over the Lancer. And also the chassis is very it inherits some of the Lancer's tail happy characteristics, but Proton has made it very easy to catch any slides or drifts that the car that happen when you throw the car a bit too enthusiastically around the bends. Okay, yeah, but for further info, wait up, I've got another video coming up that will be talking specifically about the Inspira. Okay, so stay tuned for that. And then Artyom asks, if you wish to revisit the Inspira manual, let me know anytime, man. After MCO, let's do it. Okay, and Faisal Saleh also followed comments. Any plans to review your viewer's car? Yep, after the MCO, and only if the said owner is very sure and very comfortable with me driving his or her car. Okay, so I never impose on people to tell them that, you know, I want to drive your car unless it's for a media review. But usually if it's an owner's car, if it's someone else's car, I will only drive it if it's offered, if the opportunity is offered to me by the owner. Okay, it is, to me, it is a respect. Okay, and yeah, I don't take other people's cars unless they feel absolutely confident and comfortable with that. So Daniel Solomon asked me, how many kilometers did I drive? Had I driven in the Waja before I first changed the clutch plate? I first changed the clutch plate at 168,000 kilometers. That time, the clutch plate was showing slight signs of slipping, but it was still biting. Actually, it was still biting. Okay, I was still able to drive the car, but it was starting to slip, especially in cold start. So I changed the clutch, and now the car is at about 185,000 kilometers. The clutch is still biting well. And in case somebody asks how much did it cost, let me just run through the clutch set. I did this in the official Proton service center lah. Clutch set was 755 ringgit. Drive shaft oil seal, 25 ringgit for 2, so that's 50 ringgit. And clutch fluid was 80 ringgit. Labor, okay, because that time I also did an oil change together, right? 66 ringgit. That time was 2017, still got GST, right? The GST for that trip, and that one I brought my own engine oil, okay? So that round, right, the GST alone was 61 ringgit. The total bill was 1,081. I mean, honestly, that is the biggest expense lah. If you drive a manual car, inevitably at some stage you will be hit by a clutch replacement bill one. Okay, and that's when you just have to bite the bullet. 700, 800 ringgit is the minimum, is the bare minimum that I've heard of. Yeah. So, but it's something that you don't have to do frequently. And as I said before in the video in which our friend commented, if you practice good driving habits, you remember to ref match every time you downshift, you help to stretch the lifespan of the clutch. Okay, yeah. So Ichiro Takumi asks, I always like the first design of the first gen Smart 4.4, and those are like really cheap now. What do you think of the car? Is it something worth considering? I think it's alright, but I think those cars run on automated manual transmissions. So if you want to go for one of those, you've got to make sure that the transmission is well taken care of by the previous owner. Otherwise, you may have to stand by money for a transmission job. Okay, if it's an AMT, you're probably talking about either a new transmission or a rebuild of the clutch set. But yeah, that would be an area that you will definitely have to look into. Rian Lau 883R, do you think having a touchscreen for in-car controls is safe? It's, well, the thing is that because we grew up with switches, right? we are accustomed to, let's say like you are driving, suddenly you feel cold, you reach for the knob and you turn, or you want to increase the volume, you just press the buttons on your steering, or you reach for the volume control knob. All these you can reach with your eyes closed, and because you can just reach there and you can physically feel that button, the tactile feedback from the button tells you whether you have engaged the function that you want and by how big, how much. So with touch screens, you inevitably will have to take your eye off the road, okay, to ensure that your finger hit the correct part of the screen. So yeah, I still haven't gotten fully used to it. Right now, in my household, only the S Max has a touch screen, but the S Max still has, you know, a fair bit of its infotainment and climate control accessible from buttons. So it's still manageable, but I have not lived with a car that is fully touchscreen based kind of interaction. Not sure how I will live with that, but I think this is where voice command comes hand in hand, because nowadays most cars have voice command, right? So when you have voice command, it means that you don't have to fiddle the screen. If that function is accessible by voice command, all you have to do is just say air con to 24 degrees, all right, set temperature to 24 degrees, reduce volume, or navigate to whatever, wherever. So yeah, so that's so to me, yeah, touch screens, and the thing is that but the thing for car manufacturers is this: touch screens, right? If you move forward, where touch screens become more and more common, touch screens will actually be a cost saving feature. Why? Because what it means is that the car maker can standardize all their dashboards across the range by just putting a screen there, okay, and all they have to do is just, you know, to cater for different units with different features. It's just a question of setting different display screens. Whereas right now, you know, with traditional switches, let's say like this owner opted for feature A versus feature B, you have to develop a different set of switch gear to accommodate for different features. With touchscreens, you don't need to do that. You just have to make sure that the touchscreen works properly, and then you design the interface, different visual interface for different features. Pop, that's it. You are done. Okay. But but your next part of your question, will HD screens in cars with high-res displays even last 10 years under the heat of our climate? I really don't know. I really don't know. Baldwin Chua asks, hi Con, where's your Waja? I haven't seen in your video lately. I record usually inside here one more. But in case if you are wondering, well, ever since I sent the S-Max to the workshop, the S-Max is actually ready. I just haven't went to collect it. I've left the Waja in my mother's house, because that way the remaining empty bay my sister-in-law can use to park her car inside. Okay, yeah. So later, once the S-Max returns, I'll probably head to my mother's house to swap the E39 for the Waja and use the Waja for a bit, and, you know, continue to rotate between the two cars, and of course fix up some of the things that I intend to fix up. Paresh asking me, looking to purchase a pre-facelift 2014 Maserati Ghibli. Does it drive and handle similar to this? Any major issues with the pre-facelift unit? Major issues are, I'm not sure. The build quality is not impressive, I can tell you that much. But I don't think the drive and handling would vary significantly. So if you're looking for a pre-facelift 2014 unit, go for it. One thing's for sure, see, the Ghibli is an E-Class 5 Series competitor, but driving one of these, you immediately establish yourself as 1 or 2 steps up from the every Tom, Dick and Harry 5 Series and E-Class owners on the road. So yeah, go for it, bro. Go for it. Even if, let's say, the car doesn't work out right, you can still sell the car 6 months, a year down the road without incurring any loss. Go for it. CSL Monkey asks, which one car should I buy for my father, Saga or Beza? Please recommend me. Depends on what your father likes. Both cars have their pros and cons. Saga is quieter, more comfortable, and I think more spacious. Okay, with the Beza you have the tried and trusted after sales facilities of Perodua, after sales track record of Perodua. That one is, despite Proton's ongoing recovery, is something they cannot match. Okay, maintenance costs, I would think fuel consumption Beza is definitely lower. Long-term maintenance costs, they are almost evenly matched. But recently, one of our media friends pointed something out. The Saga, Proton officially recommends a timing belt change for the Saga at 110,000 kilometers, which I think is overly optimistic. Okay, chances are you will need a timing belt change at 70 to 80,000 kilometers. So I think long-term wise, the Beza will be slightly cheaper to maintain, although I don't think it's a significant sum. You see, because the thing is that, right, at the end of the day, even though you say the Beza is cheaper to maintain, but the Saga is cheaper to buy, so your overall long-term cost of ownership between the two cars is about the same. Okay, so both cars are just as good. I would say bring your father, go test drive the cars, let him make this decision from there. Okay, Aravintan Subramaniam commented this on my CX-30 video. Okay, here's something interesting. Mazda 3's seat setting can be linked to a key fob, to the key fob. So when you unlock the car, okay, the car will can actually recognize your key fob, okay, and if you unlock the car using that key fob, the car will pre-adjust all the seating position based on your memory setting. So I think that's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. Something I just learned. So Trust GTR commented, why would anyone not need 100% more grip? We discuss and look for the most grippiest tires and always want better handling, but when 100% additional grip is offered, we find reasons to shoot it down. The only reason front-wheel drive SUV exists is because to lower cost at the price of handling dynamics. A rise in center of gravity should be coupled with additional grip and stability. Some might say FC is high, modern SUVs with all-wheel drive is superb with fuel consumption. Well, you have a point, okay. Of course, if you can have all-wheel drive in your SUV, that's the best. But the thing is that the current crossovers, I hesitate to use the term SUV, current breed of crossovers, their dynamics are already optimized for front-wheel drive. So I remember last time, back then, a few years ago, previously my mother had a Ford Escape two-wheel drive. Now that car's handling felt a bit off because you get a distinct impression that car's dynamics was optimized for four-wheel drive. Then it just lob out the rear drive shaft and the car doesn't handle quite right. But whereas with a vehicle like a CX-30 that's already based on a passenger car platform, Mazda 3 platform, I believe the dynamics of this car is already pretty well sorted in front-wheel drive configuration. But I would think that the diesel model needs all-wheel drive more than a 2-liter petrol. Okay, that's my view. Muhammad Rafi asks, what's the difference with CX-3? This is more spacious than the CX-3 and also more sophisticated, newer generation hardware. Sun Huat we ask, comparing the CX-30 to the XC40, how does it compare? The XC40 is still a higher segment product. Okay, XC40 is still a proper premium product. The CX-30 is like 1 or 2 steps below. CX-30 has rear torsion beam. XC40 has full independent rear suspension with all-wheel drive. So yeah, definitely this XC40 is a more premium product versus the CX-30. But the CX-30 is halfway there to an XC40 from a mainstream product. That's my thoughts. Bernard Chen from Singapore asks, in your market, T5 comes with four-wheel drive, front-wheel drive. All-wheel drive is only offered with the T6 model, which we don't get. Do you think front-wheel drive is worth getting? Okay, it depends on the price gap versus the features and also the driving dynamics. So I assume you have test driven the car, and I don't think the front wheel drive model will drive pretty badly. So it's worth getting if the dynamics of the vehicle are not severely compromised. And the reduced equipment versus your T6 all-wheel drive is not so severe that you feel like you're driving a poor spec car. What I can tell you based on my perspective is T5 all-wheel drive in the based on the Malaysian spec, it drives well. It doesn't feel inadequate in terms of performance, although appearance-wise, looks a bit underwhelming lah. Okay, but for your market, you have to look at the car based on the specifications that you guys get down in Singapore, and decide whether is this sufficient. But from a performance standpoint, definitely the T5 is good enough. So somebody asked, compare your Persona to Pro Duo Alza 1.5, which is more comfortable? Persona. Motorhead Physics asks, looking forward to buy a Waja CPS manual in a few more months. Do you think it's a good idea? You can buy now. Waja CPS manual now is damn cheap. You can buy now. It's damn good bang for buck, man. But do watch out, its maintenance of the CPS is a bit higher than if you buy the Mitsubishi engine cars. Billy Bala asks regarding the Mercedes E350e, is there a reason why second price of this car has gone so low, now selling for about 220,000 for 2018 AMG model? What's the catch? It's a PHEV, that's why. Generally speaking, PHEV resale value definitely won't be as good as the regular E200, E250 or E300. Alright, so I think that's all the relevant questions that I have to answer here. Some of the questions I have responded to I've responded to by typing. So yeah. Anyways, guys, thank you so much once again for watching and watching our videos. And so as usual refrain: stay home, stay safe. Okay. If you guys have friends in interior design in the interior design business, do recommend them to join the Volvo Car and Aurizn Eco Design Challenge. If you are in the interior design business, join the Volvo Car and Aurizn Eco Design Challenge. Okay, we are actually offering actual contracts. All right, and if you guys don't have Ideal Fitri Eve plans this Saturday evening, join us for our Facebook live feed, and yeah, and hear us share about our experiences with Evo Enduro, and hopefully we'll see you guys join us when the event actually happens. All right, so thank you for watching, guys. Take care. Hi guys, selamat berpuasa. Wishing everybody an abundance of blessings this fasting month. So in conjunction with the month of Ramadan, Mitsubishi Motors Malaysia is offering fantastic promos for the Outlander, Triton and the ASX. So what's in store? We start with the Outlander. You get 2,000 ringgit cash rebates as well as 2-year free service, subject to mileage restrictions, of course. If you buy the Triton, you get a choice between cash rebate or low interest rate. The cash rebate offer is 6,000 ringgit. If you are a Mitsubishi owner, they top in another 3,000 ringgit to give you 9,000 ringgit cash rebate. If you are the owner of a pickup truck from another brand, they give you an extra 2,000 ringgit on top of 6,000, which means 8,000 ringgit of cash rebates. The other option is for you to take a 0.88% interest rate versus a conventional 3% interest rate. The same installment budget, you can upgrade from a Triton premium model to the range topping Adventure X model for the same monthly installments. Okay, now with the ASX, if you bring a car to trade in, Mitsubishi Motors Malaysia will top in an extra 8,888 ringgit on your current car's resale value. Not only that, you get 5 years of free maintenance, subject to mileage restrictions, of course, and 5 years warranty without mileage restrictions. Okay, so for further information, go visit, no, now MCO, right? Go contact your nearest Mitsubishi outlet to find out more about these very exciting promos.